way, April is National Donate Life Month, and our next guest knows only too well how much those words mean. He created an award-winning film that chronicles his search for meaning after the devastating death of his younger sister, Sammi Kane Kraft.
The film is a tribute to Sammy's life, the life her death saved, and the courage it takes to face grief. Take a look.
Beautiful. Frankie, look at Sammy. Wow. Look at your sister.
Tomorrow, I'm meeting my sister's heart recipient. My sister died with not her choice. And yet, I've let it ruin my life. And I'm done with that. I'm wanting to make it beautiful.
These arms reach out.
This is impossible. Someone who needs our heart.
Sammy was literally like, she was my everything.
Oh my gosh, a lot to unpack here. Please welcome filmmaker Frankie Kraft. Hello, Frankie.
Hi, how are you guys?
Are you ever immune to seeing that and not getting emotional?
No, I'm not. Honestly, like working throughout the whole film, we edited for almost like 4 years, and I would have a lot of emotional experiences, but it's exciting and peaceful to see my sister like this, so I'm okay.
Tell folks about your sister, Sammy. You two obviously were very close, and you collaborated together on lots of projects.
Yes, Sammy was a multi-talented person. She was an athlete. She was an incredible musician, actress. We worked on musical projects together. A lot of her music that we use in the film was part of a musical we wrote together. So she was just incredible, my best friend, my everything.
And she tragically passed away in a car accident. And I was watching something with you, I think it was a trailer or something, you were describing it, and you were saying how in that moment where you get the news, you have so little time to process that news before you have to decide, yes, let's do this, let's take her heart and give it to somebody who needs it.
Yeah.
So what was that? I mean, what was that like for you? It was the stupidest question of all time,
Right.
but like,
It was great.
Yeah, right. That emotional just insanity that you're going through had to be so powerful.
Yeah, you know, luckily I'm really close with my family, my mom, my dad, and my brother, and we were all kind of thrust into this unthinkable circumstance, but which, you know, most people don't go through, but when we were in it and going through it, it was really just jarring and shocking, but my dad was so wonderful in the moment and strong for us that he recommended her heart be donated to somebody that he actually knew, and which is a very rare situation. Doesn't happen often.
And it matched perfectly,
and it matched
right?
perfectly.
Matched perfectly,
It's
which
crazy.
is even more rare. The story is just, when I think about it, I kind of like freak out, but you know, it was a tough moment, but something that was divine.
I bet. Do you feel comfortable talking to us about the last moments you had with your sister?
Sure, yeah. I was actually living here in New York. We were just finished working on the musical that we wrote together, Funeral Musical, which is kind of ironic. She
Wow.
wrote 13 songs about death and grief and the afterlife and what happens when you die. And she died 6 months after that experience of working on that. And I was kind of left with this ironic, beautiful material that was kind of foreseeing this end to her life that I was able to kind of explore in the film as well. But we had just such a fun time in New York together. She was a pain in the butt at times, you know, but she was the best. So we said we love each other, and that was known.
The name of the documentary was that a title of one of her songs?
Yes, thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
Help Her Live is one of her songs. It's one of the songs that we did when we did the workshop of the musical. She actually sang that song, and it was the standout performance. The show needed a lot of work, okay? It was the first workshop, all right?
Now
You know,
the filmmaker comes out.
we were like, you know, we had ways to go with it, which is a lot of inspiration for why I've continued working on her music, and being with her in the hospital in the ICU when she was, we knew she wasn't going to make it, and I got to have my very last moments with her. I promised her that I would continue her work and her legacy, and this is part of that. And there's a lot more to go.
And there's lyrics in that particular song about a woman's heart or something like that. There's like just...
There's a couple songs with heart in it, but yes, in Help Her Live, she does sing, in my heart, she's still there, and in my dreams is where she lives. And that is something I really hold on to. It is something we have written on our epitaph as well.
So you mentioned in those immediate moments where your family's gathered and you're like, okay, your dad says, I know someone who could use a heart, which, as you mentioned, I mean, it's almost like some sort of divine intervention.
Right.
We would actually like to meet the woman who was the recipient of your sister's heart. So let's bring her out.
She's here.
Here she is. Please welcome
Yvonne.
Yvonne Payne. Hello, Yvonne.
Hi.
Hi.
So good to see you.
My love.
Aw,
Love you so much.
please. Come take a
Let me
seat.
squeeze in there.
By all
Thank you.
means. Yvonne, so nice to see you.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Nice to meet you
Thank
too.
you for having me.
Of course, thanks for coming.
Wonderful.
First and foremost, how are you feeling?
I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, giving a chance at life to be able to live a nice, full, and active life is like amazing.
Yeah.
It's just a life changer for me. You know, I was in really, really bad shape where I couldn't walk across a small room.
Yeah.
That's how bad it really got. So this is just a life changing for me. Bittersweet, because it is bittersweet, but life changing for sure.
On the bittersweet end, when you got that call and you heard the tragic news, but you found out about the heart, what was like for you emotionally?
I just broke down crying. I was at that point, I don't even think I was ready for something like that. I was on an LVAD. It was keeping me alive. And when I did get that call, and of course from someone that I know, and of course it's just heartbreaking. You know, it's just heartbreaking. So it was really tough on me. It was very, very tough on me.
And so you knew Frankie's dad.
I knew his dad, yes.
And so when all of this comes to pass, what were those moments like in the room?
It was pure bliss, right?
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
I was nervous leading up to it, just because of all the stress. I didn't have anything to do with the meeting. You know, I directed and created the film, but I really didn't coordinate with Yvonne until what you see in the movie. And so all of that was like out of my control. And so once we met, it just felt like this was exactly how this was supposed to be. Peace.
It sure was, yes.
Yeah.
When soldiers come home and they see their kids, I lose it. When people hear the heart of their loved one, equally lose it. Do you do that often? Do you ever kind of have that experience where you can listen to your sister's heart?
It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. The very, very first time, it was just amazing. And that was the first time when I met her mother, because I knew the father, because he used to come to New York a lot. But the mother, when I finally met her, we cried. We were at a restaurant. I think we cried like for about an hour. And then they were listening to the heart. And let me tell you, heartbreaking.
Wow.
It's so heartbreaking. It really is.
This woman's amazing. I mean, I've really feel so lucky in this experience. I mean, it's been a tough one, bittersweet as we said, but I really love Yvonne, and I want to, share her story more with the world too.
Yeah.
It's definitely a story worth sharing.
It's a
your
story.
collective story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
yes,
for making
absolutely.
time for us.
Thank you so much.
Before we go, what do you want folks to know out there after they see your film about organ donation? And it's a tough process.
Well,
for
me
some.
personally, I just think that it's very important that people donate life, that they become donors. I mean, it's very important. I mean, over 100,000 people are right now waiting for transplant, and many die waiting. It's very sad. So it's very critical that people become donors.
Become a donor.
Become a donor. And it's so easy these days. You can actually your phone has an app. It's called Health, and right there, and it takes maybe 4 or 5 questions that they ask, and that's
boom.
it. And boom, you're there. You're a donor.
I'm a donor.
Very simple.
I am too.
I don't think anybody wants any of this.
You'd be surprised.
No thanks, I'll pass.
That's
Somebody else,
something
please.
somebody can
Right,
use.
Yvonne and Frankie,
Thank you, guys.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having
Your
us.
sister Sammy,
Thank you for
Run,
having
do
us.
not walk to stream this important film, Help Her Live. It's streaming now on Apple TV, Amazon, Google Play, and YouTube. And for more information, I'm gonna need a tongue transplant. Go to helpherlive.com.